All right, I want to do a very quick update on what I've learned from growing this grass. And this one's going to focus on the irrigation sprinklers. Now, a couple things. You can see there are dry spots there and there, and there's actually a tiny one over here. The problem with these sprinklers is their advertised rate of spray is never 100% what it's advertised. Maybe if the sprinkler is only shooting out this much range, like let's say it has a spread of this far, but as soon as you go to 90 degrees, it cuts that distance way down because of the more water, more pressure being spread across the water, it doesn't go as far. There's less pressure per stream. 360, you're going to have a very short radius or diameter, very small circle. For example, this is rated for 15 feet. I know that this is 30 or 28 feet to the other sprinkler right there where the dog is. So I bought 15-foot ones, thinking an extra foot on each side would be fine. And these are rated for 0 degrees to 360 degrees. So I can have one little stream, two little streams, three little streams, or a whole circle. I had it at 90, thinking it'll go the rated distance at 90 degrees. There are 4 of these sprinklers, and I added one in the center afterwards. I laid pipe here to get the center because these were not even going 10 feet, barely. So what I would do is not count on the rated range, even at a fraction of its total available spray radius coverage setting. So a 15-foot sprayer that is rated for 360 degrees, and this is more of like a mist sprayer. It's not like one individual stream that goes back and forth. That might actually hit the rated distance. This is more of a mist shower curtain. I would say you would get maybe 2/3 or half of the rated performance if you intend to use it that way. So what I should have done is added maybe one in the middle here, so that one could cover like there, this one could cover a little bit, and then maybe even a whole line in the middle. This is too big for 4 sprinklers. I have it dialed in so that it does hit everything right now, but it's just barely there. And I have to frequently come over here and adjust them because the mower blade or the dog chews on these. And that's the second tip. Absolutely do not buy a sprinkler head that is adjustable from the top. It makes it way easier to adjust, which is a good thing and a bad thing. It's a good thing because it's easy to adjust, but a bad thing because if I walk on this, or my dog chews on it, or the mower hits it, which happens all the time, it'll adjust slightly or a lot. And then the next day, I'll be spraying water way over here, or it'll open it up so far that it's spraying like everywhere and not getting the right distance, which leads to the dry spots. Another thing is I would not have them inside the grass zone. So instead of having it in this corner, I'd have it back here. So then there's less of a chance of hitting it, maybe, at least by the mower. The mower hits this every time. So get more power than you think you need, like half more power. And go with overlap. I spaced this out so that it would just have minimal overlap. I say go with a good amount of overlap so you're not dealing with this kind of stuff, because it's better for something to get too much water than no water at all. And these are kind of finicky. Every brand that I've tried is trash. This is Orbit. I have Rainbird over there, and I've tried a couple other ones, and they're all garbage. So you need to have overlap to account for the horrible manufacturing of these things and just how trash they are. So you'll want the overlap for that reason. And then if they do start being a little finicky on you, go ahead and take pliers, and when they're shot up, grab the neck and turn it all the way around to the right and then grab the adjustable piece and turn that right, and it'll tighten the whole mechanism a little bit and should free up a little empty spots. Because currently this is supposed to have like a nice stream of, let's say, 5 in the angle, but let's say this one is only half as much and this one's only half as much or something like that. You'd have to tighten it and then clean it with your fingernails every couple weeks or so to make sure you have all 5 constant good streams, and some of them are just unfixable. But I'm too lazy to dig this up and replace it at this point. So that's where the overlap and the extra power comes in, so you're not worried about that kind of stuff, which will happen. So over here, this is where I did it the right way. I have a sprinkler head outside of the grass area, and it's not in a walking area, so that it definitely makes sense in that case. And this one is not adjustable on the top. When it pops up, there's actually a little ring on the neck that you turn, and it's much harder than those ones to adjust. However, hello June. However, it'll never be accidentally adjusted, so I can set this and forget it, and that's what I've done. I've never had to adjust that one, or this one in the corner, because I set it and it has not been moved, because I'm not mowing over them, and even if I did, it wouldn't change them. So do not get easy to adjust or adjustable on the top. If anything, I would get a tool only adjustment, because then you're never worried about that stuff. And the same thing goes for here. If it advertises this, expect like a little bit of a shitty spray, like maybe you get that kind of spray. And give it more overlap so you're not worried about that stuff. And if it does start to be weird, clean it in here with your fingernails like this while it's running, and then use pliers and tighten it all the way around, and then open it up. So you'll see that part of the 5-finger spray got cut to like here and here on my pinky, so I wasn't hitting this spot or this spot. I've since adjusted that this morning with pliers by tightening it all the way around and using my fingernails to clean them. And so now this is actually moist, whereas before, like a week long, it was completely dry and I wasn't sure what was going on. So it was just the sprinklers. This should green back up. Nothing's dead. It sucks because I'm gonna have to look at this for another couple weeks or so. I'm lucky that Bermuda is very hardy, and these, oh, I almost just touched a wasp right here. Holy shit. And these are full rhizomes and stolons that extend into the green area, so this will be fine. And the same thing over here. In this case, the sprinkler head I bought, which is now under here, pops up and I get a spray that looks something like this. So I'm not hitting those dry areas, but as soon as I cleaned it and tightened it and then kind of adjusted it so that the dry areas are in like more of a shorter range, I'm getting the entire thing. So everything here is now covered, but it took a lot of tweaking because I'm at the max distance that these are rated for. You want more of a buffer zone if you're gonna be planning this out. And I was fortunate to be able to install all of this myself. So there were pipes here and here, but I had to dig pipe, not there, but where did I dig pipe? Here, out, in through there, and then a piece there and a piece there. So I actually was able to plan the sprinkler placements. And what I would do is, even if you're not going to use them, plan to have some pipe where maybe it'll fall short and you can just put a T-connector in there and plug it. And that'll be way easier than having grass grow and then digging it up a second time and adding the pipe. So do it all in one go, put down more infrastructure than you think you'll need, and then you can always add the sprinklers into those plugged areas. Like, I should have added a T-plug right in the center here to make sure that this was getting water and I didn't have to rely on the max range of these corner sprinklers. Another thing maybe is that as you're growing the grass, you will have some kind of overlap somewhere where it gets really wet, but eventually the grass will grow and soak it all up. So don't worry about that so much. Just make sure that every area gets water, even if it's too much. Way better than none at all. That might be all I have for the sprinkler heads, except that I prefer the larger canisters. They're like the height of my hand versus the height of half my hand. I'm not really sure how to explain that, but there are a small version and then there's a bigger version of a sprinkler, and I would always go with the bigger one, just because they seem to be more robust and they don't require as many adapters to plug stuff in. Hopefully that was helpful. That's just what I've learned in buying these things. They're all junk, so bet on that and plan ahead. Thank you for watching.